welcome to the January the 9th, 1990 taping of It Happened in Grand Prairie. And this is our history tape number 111, number 111, as we bring you back history of Grand Prairie of the past and also bring you the people that caused lots of good things to happen to our history and also what they're doing today. And this day we have a very exciting first interview for 1990, Mr. and Mrs. Ernest Jones, Ernest and Alma Kennedy Jones. And we want to welcome y'all to the show. Ernest, welcome, and welcome Alma. It's a delight having you two young people with us today, and we know that you're young because you're young at heart, and that's what counts in it, Ernest.
That's right.
All right, Ernest, you're a very important young man, recently retired from the city of Grand Prairie. But before we bring you that part of our history, we'd like for you to look out into your camera and give us your genealogy. We like to establish a base of your parents and maybe your brothers and sisters and where they were from and when you were born, some good stuff like that that we can have on our history tape.
Well, you want my mother and father first?
Yes, let's take your mother and father first.
Mose Jones.
Mose Jones.
Minnie Jones.
All right. And what was Minnie's name before she married Mr. Jones?
She was Thompson.
She was a Thompson, and that was my maiden name. That is a real good name. Okay. Now, Mose and Minnie, and they lived where?
Well, they lived in Marshall, Texas.
In Marshall, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They moved to Ellis County in Rice, Texas.
To Rice, Texas, and that's down in Ellis County. Is that near the Super Collider territory, or is it?
It's the local officer has it.
All right.
It's going down 145.
All right. Now, Ernest, in your parents, did you have any brothers and sisters?
It's no big family.
All right. Tell me how many?
13
of them.
10 of us living.
And 10 of you living.
Yes.
And where do you fall in that line? Are you the 11th son, or where are you in that?
Well, I'm
family?
the twin. There's 6 older than I am, and 6 younger than I am.
Okay, you're right in the middle, aren't you?
Right in the middle.
All right. Would you like to mention any of your brothers and sisters, their names, and where they live right now?
My oldest sister, she's the oldest one. She lives in Fort Worth.
And what's her name?
Fannie Mae Rowe.
Okay. Next
she
one?
lived at, my Mose Jones, he lived in Dallas, my brother.
All right.
And my brother Willie, he lived in Fort Worth.
All right.
And then the rest of them in Dallas. Maddie, Mae Thompson, she lived in Dallas. And Maple Moffett lived in Dallas. And Katie King, she lived in Dallas. And I have a brother, Roy, he lived in Dallas. A.U. lived in Dallas. Albert lived in Dallas.
I tell you, you got them all right here in the Metroplex. You can.
That was Twinson.
Oh, and you can really call on them when you're in need. You have got them all right here handy, haven't
Right
you?
handy.
All right. Now, Ernest, where were you born and what date? We'd like to establish
I was born in
that.
Ellis County at Rice in 1924.
In 1924, okay.
Right.
And Ernest, when he was born in that area, where'd you go to school?
Well, we went to school at a little country school called Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant, okay.
It's out from between Rice and Alice, which they
All
call
right.
Alice.
And in Mount Pleasant, when
Yes,
you went to school there, I know there just must have been a very favorite teacher or a principal or someone that really encouraged Ernest to grow up and be a good young man.
Well, Miss Jackson, that was my teacher. She was strict.
Oh, she was strict.
Yes, ma'am. She was.
When you were going to school as a young man, was there any subject that you preferred? Did you like one subject better than the other? Did you just tolerate them all?
Just tolerate them all.
Yes. Okay. Now, Mose and Minnie, when they moved into Ellis County, what did he do for a living?
Farm.
He was a farmer.
Farmer, yes.
All right. If he was a farmer and with all of those wonderful children, I'm sure y'all got some experience on the farm. What did you ever do on the farm as a young man?
Just about everything.
All right. The boys and girls that watch our show really do like for you to tell them what you did. Tell me some of the things you
Milk
did.
cows,
All right.
chop wood,
All right.
pick cotton, peanuts.
Uh-huh.
Just about everything you do on the farm.
All right. When you were in school, did they take you out of school to work on the
Right,
farm?
we had to quit school sometimes to help make a living. Back in them days, 'cause time
Yes,
was
you
hard.
bet. We all did that, didn't we, Ernest?
Sure did.
All right. And living down in that territory, did you have any best friends?
Well, back out there, you live about a mile, 2 miles from one another.
All right.
You'll see some every now and then, like on the weekend we go visit.
How far was it to the nearest town, and how often did you get to go, Ernest?
Once a week, that on Saturday, maybe.
Yeah,
Especially when cotton time, we go on Saturday.
And how'd you get to town?
On wagon.
Oh, in the wagon, okay.
Yeah, we rode wagon.
Uh-huh.
Back in them days, people didn't have no car.
You'd go early on Saturday and do your shopping, get your flour and sugar and stuff like that, and then what'd you do in town all day long? Did you have a good time?
We were young. We shoot marbles on the courthouse square.
All right.
So
Okay.
they got ready to go back. We get on that wagon,
Uh-huh.
head back to the farm.
And the courthouse, of course, then, if you went to town, was Waxahachie?
Right. No, Corsicana.
Oh, it was.
We'd go to
Corsicana. You'd go to Corsicana.
Right.
Well, that was closer to Mount Pleasant area then than it
Right.
was to Waxahachie. All right, that's very exciting. Corsicana is a growing, booming town today, isn't it?
Right.
All right. Growing up, almost the middle child in the family, did your mother and daddy have certain favorites, or were you their favorite?
No, Mr. Meadows, they didn't pick neither one.
Oh.
Wouldn't give one a little bit more credit than they did.
All right.
So they treat us all about the same.
Oh, that's good.
They
Now,
do that work, you know what you got.
all right. And I guess you were the hardest working one of all.
Well, I mostly told it water.
All right.
I was a water boy until I got a big size, then I had to go pick that cotton.
All right. What was your favorite job on the farm of all that you ever had to do, your
Well,
chore or your job?
When I got big enough, I drove tractor.
Oh, you did? You did drive a tractor.
I done my private tractor after I got large enough.
Uh-huh. And now that was exciting. That was almost as good as
That's
driving
like
a car,
driving a
wasn't it?
Cadillac now.
Oh, you bet. And the payments on those things was almost like a Cadillac,
Just
wasn't it?
about. Well, it wasn't a high tractor, boss man tractor.
Uh-huh.
So he always picked me out, do the pride for it.
Yes.
So that's what I wanted.
Oh, love that. That's great. All right, we're going to let you rest a minute, Ernest. Now we got to get with Alma and find out about her folks and everything. And then we're going to get back to you as a couple, okay?
Okay.
All right, Alma, let's look out and let's tell about your genealogy. Would you do that for us?
Okay. My dad, Willie Kennedy.
All right.
My
And-
mother, Ada Milton Kennedy.
Okay. And where did they live?
Now or then?
Then.
Marlin.
At Marlin, Texas, and that's in what county? Oh, that's way on down in Texas, isn't it? Marlin, Texas. Was that
Waco.
near that's near
That's
Waco?
close to
isn't it?
Waco.
All right. And did you have any brothers or sisters?
Right.
All
Two
right.
brothers and two sisters.
Would you like to name them and where they are now if they're still living?
Well, I have two dead, but
All right. Name the two that are living.
Ophia Purvis lives in Fort Worth.
All right.
Juanita Robinson lived here I'm at Grand Prairie.
Wonderful. Would you like to name your two deceased?
Wowzie Kennedy, my
All right.
oldest brother.
All right.
Robert Kennedy, my baby brother.
And your baby brother. All right. And living down around Marlin, Texas, what did your folks do for a living?
Farm,
They farmed. All right. And was the farm?
raised hogs,
All right.
turkeys,
All right.
and things like that.
All right.
Geese,
And geese.
whatever. Mhm.
And what did Alma do? Did you have certain chores you did, or did you work in the house, or did you run the separator, or what'd you do, Alma?
I worked in the field.
You worked in the field. Okay. What was your favorite job of all the jobs that your folks assigned to you? Was it working in the field, or did you enjoy staying in the house and maybe cleaning up?
In the house.
Like the housework the best. All right. And Alma, where did you get to go to school?
Well, it was Marlin, out from Marlin, a little place called Durango.
Durango. Okay. And in Durango, in the school that you attended, did you have a favorite teacher or a favorite subject?
Oh, yes, I love history. I can't think of my teacher's name.
All right.
But anyway, he was a principal.
He was
A
the
man,
principal.
right.
All right. And he was kind of a role model
Right,
to you.
right.
Oh, that is great. And you loved history.
Oh, I love.
Oh, that was the best subject of all, isn't
Right.
it? All right. And after you grew up, what happened to Alma then? After she left that area, did you move to another area?
Yes, we moved to Arlington, from
All right.
Arlington to Grand Prairie.
All right. From Arlington to Grand Prairie. Did your folks move with you
Right.
to?
They moved before I did.
All right. They moved into
That was
Arlington.
in 47.
And you were born down in the Marlin area.
Right.
You want to tell us your birthday?
Yes, ma'am. 1920, April the 14th.
Oh, that's a good year. That is a good year. That's my birth year. I like that 1920. That's a real famous year. All right, and moving into the Arlington area, why did your parents move to Arlington? Did he get another job or what?
Yes, my daddy got a job at the bank.
All right. And you want to
And
name
my
the
mother
bank?
did housework.
All right. You want to name the bank where your dad brought you to Arlington? Do you remember that?
I believe it was First State.
First State Bank in Arlington, Texas. Isn't that exciting that you got to come all the way from the farm and to come into a town like Arlington? It wasn't very large probably then,
No, it sure
but it's
wasn't.
better than the farm, isn't it?
Right, right.
All right. Did you go to any of the schools in this area? Had you already
No,
gotten
I'd
out of
already
school?
finished.
You'd already finished school, and you moved to the Arlington area. And what year did you move to Grand Prairie before you met Ernest?
I moved to Grand Prairie in 47.
In 1947. Okay, 1947 finds Alma in Grand Prairie, Texas.
Right.
Okay, we're going to get back to you in a few minutes on that, but let's get back with Ernest. Ernest, we've already gotten her to Grand Prairie, and here you are still down at Mount Pleasant in this history story. So what happened to you after Mount Pleasant?
Well, I came to Alton. I lived in Alton.
All right. And did your parents move with you to Arlington, or
No,
you
ma'am.
just came to
I
Arlington?
came to Alton by myself.
As a young man, how old approximately?
About 20, maybe 20, 19 or 20. I
Uh-huh.
can't remember that.
Yes, uh-huh.
But I came to Alton. I was on my way to Fort Worth.
Oh, you were. And you
Getting
came.
a job, and I got off in Alton. I didn't have no money. That's why I got off here.
Uh-huh. That helps you to get off, doesn't it?
I got off at Alton. I went to work at the Chevrolet House.
At the Chevrolet house.
Same day. They hired me, and
Okay.
I worked there for about 2 years.
All right. Was that Vandergriff Chevrolet then?
Right.
Well, I interviewed Mr. Vandergriff the other day on this show.
Oh, you did?
That's exciting,
Yeah, I
isn't
worked for
it?
him for about two and a half years. Then I went to work for a taxi cab there, by the name of Babel.
All right.
T.A. Babel on the cab stand.
Uh-huh.
A little bit more money there, and I went to work for him at the service station, a couple hotels.
Yes, sir. And then besides that, you got to drive cars, which you always wanted to do after that tractor, didn't you?
Right, sure did.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Well, after driving the cab for several years, what happened to Ernest then?
well, then I worked for Kelly McKnight for about, I said 3 or 4 years, service station.
Well, in all of that time, what year did you meet Alma? You remember?
And I met her on about 43 or 44.
43 or
I
44?
really met her about 47.
About 1947 is when you got serious with it.
But I got out to business.
Got down to business. You really did, Ernest. Okay, and of course, you and Alma, how did you meet Alma? Now, that's going to be an exciting story. That has to be. She's from Arlington and has moved
Well, I
on.
knew her in Alton, but I mean, I see her passing through while I was working.
Oh, I see.
And,
Already had your eye on her, didn't you?
Kind of halfway, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then she moved out. I was staying with a lady, Miss Tally, rooming with her, and then we meet up, we talk, and then we got to working at a job together.
Oh, you did. Now, where did you go to work together?
At that used to be a Hollywood club there in Grand Prairie.
Oh, yes, I remember the Hollywood Club.
Okay, she was a cook and I was parking cars. When I didn't have a car to park, I'd go inside.
Uh-huh.
That's where we got started talking. And I carried her home a couple of times, and
Yes,
we started talking one another for about 3 or 4 years, and then we tied that knot.
I see. And so you all married, and I know that you're going to have to tell us about your family, but let's let Alma tell that part,
Okay.
shall we? Alma, tell us about your family. Tell us about your children and their names, and if you have grandchildren, we'd like them on the record.
All right, if I can thank all of them.
All right.
Let's see. Ernestine Quiet,
All right, and where does Ernestine live?
Grand Prairie.
She lives in Grand Prairie. She have any children?
She had 3.
Name them.
Charles Quiet,
All right.
Amy Quiet, Anissa Quiet.
All right. Do any of those go to school in Grand Prairie, Texas?
Oh, they finished.
Oh, they've
Amy
already
finished. Uh-huh.
All
She finished
right.
about 2 years ago.
All right. Okay.
She's in college.
Isn't that wonderful? Great, great. All right, that's your first child. How about your second child?
Well, they are deceased.
All right, that's all right. Name them anyhow.
Curtis Hessler,
All right,
he's deceased.
all right,
Drew Allen Hessler
All
is
right.
deceased.
all right. And any other children?
Norma and Ernest Jones Jr.
All right, now Norma is living where?
with us.
With us, okay. All right, now how about Ernest
Ernest?
Jr.?
He lives in an apartment, but I don't really know the number. Put
But
all
is
our
it in
little-
Grand Prairie?
Right.
It is in Grand Prairie.
Grand Prairie.
You sure are hanging on to your family like Ernie's family hung on to all of his brothers and sisters. You bet, you bet. And do you have any other grandchildren you'd like to name now?
Not really,
All right,
'cause
okay.
I couldn't think all of them names, really.
Let's don't think of all of them's name today. This is too late in the day to think of all of our grandkids. Okay, and you moved toward Grand Prairie then in about 1947. When did you actually settle in Grand Prairie, Ernest?
In 47.
In 1947. All right, and you were still working at the Hollywood Club. And then what happened to Ernest Jones? What did you all do as a family? Did you work there very long?
No, I worked there. It wasn't too long. Then I went to work for, I know you might know, Faye Meto.
Yes, of course.
Me and him and his son built that little Indian Hill service station on Jefferson.
All
The
right.
wheel bar. Faye just got out of service.
Yes,
Me and Mr. Meto, we built, poured the concrete.
yes.
Wheel bar. I worked for them for about, off and on, I guess, about 2.5, 3 years. Then he
Okay.
moved down there in the Y and built that Panhandle station.
Yes,
But I worked for him then.
all right.
And then I left from him and I went to work for Western Auto. First one worked at Western Auto, he come from Grand Prairie.
All right, and where was Western Auto located during that
That's
time?
where Jack in the Box at.
Right where Jack in the Box is today,
Right.
on the corner of Center and Main Street.
That's right.
On the southeast corner.
Right. I worked with
Okay.
him about, I guess, 2.5 years. Now I went to work for Beacon Van, Story coming down
All right,
on Irving. I worked for them about 2 years.
all right. And then what happened to Ernest?
Well, I came back to Alton. I worked with Luke Pontiac for about, off and on, I say about 3 years. And I come to Graf Chevrolet.
And then to Graff Chevrolet, and
I
working
worked-
for Mr. Alvin Victor Graff.
Right, I worked there about 4 years. Of course, in that paper got it a little wrong. I worked for him 4 years. Then I worked at the Gulf Station there on 8th and Jefferson.
Yes,
That was the last job I had until I come to the City Hall.
all right. And when you came to City Hall, that was what magic year?
1961.
1961, Ernest came to City Hall, and they called you the Midnight Mayor because you...
Not at that time.
Oh,
See, I came there, Mr. Buster Carroll, I don't know if you remember him.
remember Buster Carroll?
All right, he came out there one day, I served his car, and he asked me if I wanted, they had an opening up at the City Hall.
Yeah,
And so he asked me about it. I just got tired of washing on cars on Sunday,
Sure.
long hours.
sure.
So I decided I'd take it. So I went up there and put in my application. They hired me.
And what were you doing?
Joined to work.
Janitor work. That is a maintenance engineer.
Right. He
Of
handed me
course.
3 keys.
All right,
One to the front door and the north door and east door.
Uh-huh.
Said, this is your job.
you're it.
That's it.
And you stayed with the job as the chief maintenance person at City Hall for how many years, Ernest?
28 and a half years.
28 and a half years.
Worked a night shift from day one till I left.
All right, and you've seen lots of city managers, lots of mayors, lots of council members come and go, haven't you?
I really did.
Uh-huh. Well,
I saw quite a
they
few.
said you cleaned up a lot of dirt at City Hall. It wouldn't hurt for you to clean up some of our politicians, some of us that are at City Hall.
Well-
But tell us about your tenure there at City Hall, working there and the excitement of it.
Oh, I enjoyed working there. When I first went to work there, a guy by the name of city manager, Mr. McCraw.
Mr. McCraw.
And city manager was Mr. Gene Goldie. I don't know if you remember him.
Mm-hmm. Remember
Yeah, I
Mayor
remember.
Gorey?
Yeah. And when he came out, who was the next one? Goldie, Mr. Wagner, C.P. Wagner.
Mr. C.P. Wagner. He was a nice man,
He
wasn't he?
was a nice man. Then Mr. Carl, the insurance man on Dalworth,
And Mr. Caldwell.
Caldwell, he came and then he left Mr. Bowl.
Mr. Bowles, okay.
And Mr. Park, no, it's Park Hill. I believe it was.
Yeah, Mr.
Mr.
Park.
Park Hill came in, he served his term until, then he
Then
left, Mr. Wing come
Mr.
back
Weems,
in.
yeah.
And then Miss Ann Grantham,
Yes.
and then Mr. Debo wasn't there now.
You've gone right down the line on those. You have a real good memory, Ernest. That is great. And all the time that you were working at City Hall, did you have any other jobs that you did?
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
I was
same,
working on the same job I got now.
same job you have?
UAW 848, it was just a month different. I went to work there in 1963, July 13th.
Tell those in our viewing audience how exciting it is to hold down 2 absolutely wonderful jobs, one at City Hall and one at the UAW, which is on East Main Street, about the
2218 Main.
2218 East Main.
Well,
And
Well, it wasn't hard, it was just,
it's just constant, wasn't it?
right, right. The job down there, I go in the morning, clean up just like I did City Hall. But I had work 4 hours in the morning. It wasn't bad.
And then you'd bop on out and get to sleep
Go
the rest
home,
of the
sleep
day.
3 or 4 hours, come on back home. City Hall, what they call my home.
Yeah. That's
So I
wonderful.
enjoy working there. Just
All
like I
right.
did the city. I enjoy working for the city.
All right.
Nice people there.
We're going to get back with you in a minute, Ernest, to tell us anything else that you've had your hands into. You had your hands pretty full working at 2 jobs, but Alma, all of this time that he was doing all this good stuff, what were you doing? Were you a homemaker?
Part-time.
Part-time, and what
I
was the
a
other time?
Dietitian in hospital.
Dietitian at the hospital. And tell us about what hospital?
Arlington.
The Arlington Memorial.
Arlington Memorial.
Arlington
It was
Memorial.
exciting, very exciting.
Very exciting. That is wonderful. And when did you retire from Arlington Memorial? How many years ago? Several?
Several, right?
Several years ago.
The year I can't remember.
Oh, that is wonderful, though. You had lots of wonderful experiences
Oh, sure.
helping people
Right.
that when they're probably just about either their lowest when they're
Right.
sick or when they're at the highest when they have a new
Right.
baby.
Right.
Yes. You catch them coming and going.
Keeping those diets going was the most important part.
Well, did you work with your children when they were in school? Did you go to the
Sure,
PTA and
right,
be a
right,
room
right.
mother?
Right, I almost lived in the school.
And here in Grand Prairie, did any of your children go to the Grand Prairie schools? Oh, they did.
They all went to Grand Prairie.
All right. Name me some of the favorite teachers that you all had there at Dalworth.
Professor Daniel,
All right. David
Ms.
Daniel.
Love,
Oh, yes.
and
And Mrs. Daniel, of course.
right, Mrs. Daniel, and Mr. Morton. They're all favorite, really.
Yes.
They was my favorite teachers,
All
all
of them.
right.
All of them are wonderful, aren't they? And the Dalworth Dragons were very famous in Texas, and especially when they got to their state championship one time, right?
Right.
Oh, that was great. Well, Ernest, let's talk with you a little bit about things that are happening. Where do you live now, Ernest?
I live at 2218 Spike.
2218 Spikes, and that's up in the Dalworth community,
Dalworth.
which is really the southwest portion of Grand Prairie on the north segment, right?
Right.
Just below Highway 80 and between 19th Street and the county line.
Right.
When we first remember Dalworth, when you first came up there, Dalworth wasn't as exciting as it is now. Did you come there before urban renewal or after?
Oh, yeah, before.
Yes.
It pretty well looked like a grass field when we first came here.
All right, that's what I want you to tell the boys and girls. It looked like a grass
And
field,
the other grass field, it just had some road cut in it. It wasn't no hot top, just black dirt road.
just black, dirt, muddy
Right.
roads, right?
Only one we could get on was Sherman. We had to park on there and walk
Walk the rest
back
of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And I remember those days very, very well when Dalworth was not as pretty as it is now and you didn't have all of the city services. We had
No, we didn't.
all sorts of outhouses out back in there.
Right,
Yes,
right.
like we did where I lived out in Lakeview. You bet. It's been a lot of progress, hasn't it?
Lots of progress been made out there. Sure,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, tell me about Grand Prairie. Ernest, you've been here a long time. You've seen what's happening down at the main hub of the city, at City Hall. What do you think's about the most exciting thing that's happening in Grand Prairie now?
Oh, well, most things, they had to build the lake they've been building.
Yeah, I thought maybe you were going to mention that lake. Now that you're semi-retired.
I got to visit 2 more often now. I ain't been out there but one.
Uh-huh.
But, and, you know, it's grown a lot since now it wasn't when I came in.
Yes.
Grand Prairie was very small.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done grown. Built new city hall, new banks. Well, when I came in, it wasn't one bank, I don't think. It's G.H. Turner. had
Mr.
Grand
G.H.
Prairie
Turner's,
State
Grand Prairie
Bank.
State Bank.
That was the only bank was here.
He probably would have beat up anyone else that came here for a while, wouldn't he?
Probably one funeral home, but now they
Yeah.
got, I think, 1 or 2 funeral homes. So it's growing pretty good.
Yes.
Great Southwest.
Yeah, the Great Southwest coming in.
Yes. That's very important, that Great Southwest area, isn't it?
Sure is.
Okay. Well, now, do you 2 young people attend any church up in your area?
Yes.
All right, I want you to tell us about your church. Why don't we let Alma tell that?
Lighthouse Church of God in Christ,
All right.
Pastor Dr. W.E. Roberts.
Okay, and that is located on the corner of
1913 Sherman.
1913 Sherman Street. Oh, yes. And that is a long time congregation here
Right.
in Dalworth, isn't it?
Right.
Okay. Have you had any responsibilities there? Have you ever taught classes or?
Oh, I'm a Sunday school teacher. I'm president of the Sunshine Band. I'm a nursery. I'm involved in quite a few things.
In your wonderful church. That is great. All right, Ernest, what do? Do you go to, does she take you to church with her? Or
I go sometime.
You go sometime when you please. That's good. She has you working so much, it's hard for you to get off and go to church or anything.
Right.
Well, do you all belong to any other groups like 42 clubs or any other groups? Church and being a good citizen is really important, isn't it?
That's
Right.
right.
Okay. Now, Ernest, you have a lot of people that look up to you as a role model. And especially a lot of the young boys and girls in the Dalworth community, just like they do David Daniels and Sally Moore and some of the other wonderful people, the Thompsons, many that come from that area. I want you to look out into your camera and talk to the young boys and girls for about a minute and tell them how important it is to do their best at whatever they do. Would you like to do that for us?
I would like to tell them all to stay off of drugs
All right, that's good.
and stay in school, get the good education, because they're going to need it. And obey the parents and be a good school, good child in school. It would mean a lot to them in the long run.
Okay. And how about good hard work? Are you going to mention that since you've been working since you were a
Learn how to
young
work,
man?
don't depend on their mother and father always. Just learn how to do something for themselves. And don't just sit back and wait on them to do it for them.
And it's not too bad to do manual labor as long as you do it well, right?
That's right. I got started for them. You have to crawl before you walk.
That's-
So it's the best way. If you have to do that, you have, so you do better. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I done it. I lived through it. They can too.
Started out working as a farm boy, finally got to drive the tractor, then
Went
you
to
have
service
been,
station.
you bet.
Wash car, grease car, fix flat. Anything to make an honest living.
That's important.
That's the important thing.
Ernest, you're a very good role model. Well, 1 minute we have left. We'd like Alma to look out and tell the young ladies how important it is to be a good church-going person.
First, you need God in your life. And you need to go to school, from school to college, get you a good job, and be independent, and depend on nobody. And the Lord will certainly bless you.
It has just been wonderful having both of you all on our show today. You're not going to believe it. We've already been here 30 minutes, and it's a wonderful interview, and I want to thank you all for taking the time, Ernest and Alma,
wanna
for being
thank you
with
too.
us and telling us about the Joneses, the very important Jones family that's been important to Grand Prairie, Texas. I want to thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's
Appreciate
just
it.
really
Thank you.
special. And this is Ruthie Jackson, and history is as we live and do.